Sometimes life doesn't break you all at once. It breaks you slowly, piece by piece, until one day you realize you don't even feel like yourself anymore. Stress can do that. It hides behind your smile, it weighs on your chest, and it whispers, "You're not enough." But what if stress isn't your enemy? What if it's just a message, asking you to pause, breathe, and begin again? This is the story of a man who learned that lesson the hard way.
Meet Ryan, a 29-year-old guy who always tried to do everything right. He worked long hours at his job, helped his family, and tried to build a better future for himself. From the outside, he looked fine, calm, collected, responsible.
But inside, he was exhausted. Every day felt like a race he couldn't win. He woke up tired, slept with his phone beside him, ate in a hurry. Even when he wasn't working, his mind was. What if I fail this project? What if I'm not good enough? What if everything falls apart? The more he tried to stay in control, the more his life felt out of control. One Friday evening, Ryan's boss called. "Can you stay a bit longer? We have to finish the report tonight." Ryan wanted to say no. He needed rest. But he said yes, like always. He stayed late, skipped dinner, and drove home past midnight. By the time he reached his apartment, the city lights were fading. He sat on his couch, opened his laptop again, and froze. His hands were shaking, his heart was racing, and for the first time, he realized he wasn't just tired, he was burning out. The next morning, he couldn't get out of bed. He stared at the ceiling, feeling heavy, like his body had forgotten how to move. His phone kept buzzing, messages, deadlines, reminders. He turned it face down. That day, Ryan didn't go to work. He didn't talk to anyone. He just sat quietly, feeling the pressure he had ignored for so long. And somewhere between those silent hours, a thought hit him. When did I stop living and start surviving? That evening, Ryan went for a walk. No music, no phone, just silence. He walked to a small park near his home, a place he hadn't visited in years. Children were playing, a few people were jogging, and there, sitting on an old wooden bench, was an elderly man, feeding birds. Ryan sat nearby. The man smiled and said, "You look like you're carrying the whole world on your shoulders." Ryan laughed softly. "Feels like it." The man nodded. "You know," he said, "when I was your age, I used to think stress meant I was failing. But now I know, stress is just a signal. It's your mind telling you, hey, something's not right." Ryan looked at him, confused. "So, what do you do when that signal comes?" The man smiled again. "You listen to it." Those simple words hit Ryan hard. He'd spent years fighting stress, trying to ignore it, as if it was something shameful. But maybe he was supposed to listen. That night, Ryan did something he hadn't done in months. He turned off his phone, made himself tea, and for 10 minutes, he just sat in silence. He felt strange at first, restless, almost guilty for doing nothing. But slowly, his shoulders relaxed. For the first time in a long time, he felt present. From that day, Ryan made a few small changes. He started waking up earlier, not to check his phone, but to breathe, stretch, and pray. He began taking short walks during lunch instead of eating at his desk. He stopped saying yes to every request that came his way. And when stress came back, because it always does, he didn't fight it. He asked himself, what is this trying to tell me? Sometimes it said, you're tired, rest. Other times it said, you're afraid, talk to someone. And sometimes it said, you're doing too much, slow down. The more he listened, the lighter life began to feel.
Months later, Ryan was sitting at the same park bench, watching the sunset. The sky was painted in soft orange and pink, and for the first time he smiled, not because life was perfect, but because he had learned something powerful. He realized that stress wasn't a punishment. It was a message, a reminder that he's human, that he needs balance, rest, and peace as much as success. He whispered to himself, I don't have to carry everything alone anymore. Months later, Ryan was sitting at the same park bench, watching the sunset. The sky was painted in soft orange and pink, and for the first time he smiled, not because life was perfect, but because he had learned something powerful. He realized that stress wasn't a punishment. It was a message, a reminder that he's human, that he needs balance, rest, and peace as much as success. He whispered to himself, I don't have to carry everything alone anymore.
Because overcoming stress isn't about removing all problems from your life. It's about learning how to face them calmly. And maybe, like Ryan, one day you'll look back and realize stress didn't break you. It taught you how to live. Remember this, life isn't meant to be a constant fight for control. Sometimes peace begins the moment you stop trying to fix everything and simply breathe. So next time stress knocks on your door, don't run from it. Listen to it, because that's where your healing starts. If this story touched your heart, share it with someone who needs to hear it. And if you've ever faced stress in silence, tell me in the comments what helped you overcome it, because your story might just help someone else breathe a little easier tonight.